What happened to the ride-sharing business? Whether driving for Uber or Lyft, it could have been so nice. A win-win for everybody. What up, folks? Once again, it is your boy Tim with another ride-sharing video. Just wanted to bring this one to you because I saw it on TikTok, the mobile app. Check this woman out. Now, she is apparently sitting in the back of an Uber, and she cracks a joke basically saying, Uber driver asked me, do you have a man? I said, I am a man. He been quiet ever since. You ain't about to kidnap me. Now, obviously there's some humor to it, but there is some realistic issues to it as well, which shows that riding in an Uber is no longer a safe issue. Used to be that, when I say it could have been a win-win for everybody, one of the big benefits of ride sharing that was told to passengers is that it's safer. You got the internet, you got a data trail, we know who the driver is, their name is on file, they've had a background check, all of these things, etc., etc. Yet we've done numerous stories here that suggest that it's not safer in the ride-sharing business than it was as a cab driver. I've done a gaggle of videos of drivers being beaten, raped, robbed, killed. Some drivers doing the same type of shit to the passengers. I don't see where it really is any safer as a rideshare driver or a rideshare passenger than it was in the taxi business in the 80s and 90s. I invite my veteran drivers, participants over the age of 40. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. Do you believe the taxi business was safer or more dangerous than ride sharing? I don't personally see the difference because we use everyday vehicles. It leaves a lot of room for misinterpretation. Folks are faking Uber and Lyft vehicles to get folks in their cars to violate them. Because in the taxi business, you know what a cab looks like. You know what a taxi looks like. You don't always know what an Uber looks like because anybody can do it. So I don't see the safety, but cashless transactions was a way it was touted to the riders. You don't have to carry cash, makes you more safe. You don't have to worry about getting robbed. Well, shit, when they steal your phone, force you to go to the ATM at gunpoint, go through your Venmo or Cash App information on your device, the fact that you don't carry cash is not much of a hindrance. They still get access to your damn bank account. Us drivers, everything from phone-in scandals to people putting a Glock to the back of your head, making you give them access to your phone and whatever the hell happens to be in your wallet. People are still getting robbed, whether it's a cashless transaction or not. And in addition to getting robbed, they are specifically targeting us rideshare drivers. You got criminals out here that are specifically calling Ubers to come to locations to victimize them. So we're still getting robbed. The cashless part of that is bullshit. They're finding ways to rob us anyway. The other benefit was that there is an internet data trail. Whereas in the cab business, you had to dial an 800 number or some local number, cab comes out. You don't really have any data trail on them other than going through the cab company. Whereas with Uber or Lyft, supposedly there was a data trail making you more safe as a passenger. Well, fact is, whether it's a driver that's been victimized or a passenger, one thing that seems to be clear is that Uber and Lyft cannot even be guaranteed to participate in an investigation, particularly from a driver standpoint. Something happens to you as a driver, your family cannot depend on Uber or Lyft to even work with authorities to get you justice. So the internet data trail is not that strong of a benefit. In addition to that, most passengers do not even have to use their real name. So there's no data trail on some dude named Slick that has no profile picture. And now they've went even backwards on that, where passengers can hail a ride using a gift card, and they're starting to give them the ability to dial an 800 number. So that's literally rolling back any safety benefits of having a data trail when you're now allowing people to use a phone number or a gift card or even hail a ride for a friend through Uber and Lyft. All of that's happening. So the internet data trail has almost been neutralized completely. Riders, in addition to all the safety concerns, when I say a win-win, remember, drivers made a hell of a lot of money, and riders could depend on getting an Uber or Lyft for about a third of what they paid a taxi. Everybody could benefit. Now, riders barely pay any less than they do in a cab. If you're in an area with surge pricing, you may pay multiples of what you would have paid in a taxi. In fact, the taxi business in many areas have seen how successful Uber and Lyft are at ripping off the customers that some taxi companies now impose surge pricing on passengers. That shit didn't happen for 50 years. Cab drivers were not charging surge pricing for the last 50 years. Uber came along with this surge pricing shit, and now the passengers are really getting rammed up the rear end with it. So now you got taxis charging some form of implemented surge pricing. And obviously, when it comes down to driver pay in the taxi business, whether you were a taxi driver 70s, 1980s, 1990s, you could really make a living as a taxi driver. In the ride-sharing market, those days are gone. Even the business itself, even Uber themselves refer to it as a side hustle. They didn't call taxis side hustles. They knew the driver could make enough money to get by. Uber and Lyft are even referring to it as a side hustle, essentially letting you know you need to have some other form of income. This is not enough. Yet the passengers are paying damn near the same they were in a taxi now. So all of the win-win prospects of ride sharing, for the most part, have evaporated. Most likely because there are shareholders making a profit off of what we do. That didn't exist in the taxi market. But let me know, am I getting it wrong? I mean, is in your market, is it still significantly cheaper to catch an Uber or Lyft than a taxi? What about driver salaries for some of you folks who actually maybe used to be a taxi driver like yours truly? Do you see where Uber and Lyft drivers are making comparable income to what the taxi and cab drivers used to make? I can't see that happening any damn where. I don't. In fact, what I see happening is that the salary of cab and taxi drivers, because of the onslaught of Uber and Lyft drivers, driving in a cab, your salary has went down significantly over the last 10, 15, 20 years. So I don't see it, but let me know, because they've gotten rid of so many damn taxis. Medallions in some of the bigger cities like New York, the price of a medallion has dropped by like 70%. It's been a big loss for taxis. But has it been a win for rideshare passengers or rideshare drivers? Let me know in the comments. Where am I getting it wrong? It's your boy Tim. Subscribe to the damn channel. See you in the next video.